All right, so this is not a book review. This is a practical lesson on how you can come up with product ideas and validate those product ideas using Amazon. But I was reminded of this idea and really kind of fleshed this out reading Ready, Fire, Aim. So I've been reading Ready, Fire, Aim for the first time, and honestly, it's one of my favorite business books. If you haven't read it, it's really good. But basically, he talks about how how to get a business from $0 to $1 million and how to get from $1 million to $10 million all the way up to $100 million. But the thing that he really talks about is basically how to do product development and how you really need to bring products to market fast and validate them as quickly as possible. And I think Michael Masterson does a great job explaining that. And I started to think about this, like a lot of the entrepreneurship books that I have read really talk about like rapid product development, getting the MVP done, the minimum viable product done. And it's talked about all the time, right? So Tim Ferriss talks about this in 4-Hour Workweek. He talks about basically like creating a website and having like a checkout and everything on the website, but then like they go to buy and actually they can't buy, that you just validate that it works. And then in the Lean Startup as well, Ries also talks about that. He talks about basically like creating a tech company and doing everything manually in the beginning just to validate the product idea works, and then you go and invest the money in building the tech and doing all the stuff. And so I started thinking like, how can we do that in an e-commerce setting, in a physical product setting, and specifically, how can we do it on Amazon? And one thing to note too is that I first read about this in the Lean Startup, which was written in 2011, and then 4-Hour Workweek was in 2009, which was before, and then in 2008, Masterson wrote this. I'm sure there was somebody else who talked about this way before Masterson, but a lot of authors are kind of bringing up this idea again and again and again, and it's because anybody who's been successful in business knows that the most important thing to get to that first $1 million in revenue is actually launching your product and validating it, and you have to learn from real world data. So I'm going to take a step back and say, well, what do you do when you're first getting started? Before you create the product and spend the money on any type of product development, you should do research. And there's really kind of, in my mind, and if anyone wants to comment below and talk about other ways to do this, that's fine. But in my mind, there's really 2 ways that we can do research before we develop the product. The first thing we can do is we can look at data. We can look at industry data. And so big companies, they look at stuff like Nielsen data and all that kind of thing, and they look at what the industry is doing. Well, as an Amazon seller, there are a lot of great tools, including MassView, where you can kind of take a market and you can look at it and you can see what's going on. It's the same with Google. If you're gonna launch a website, you can go into some of these keyword tools and see which keywords people are searching for the most. And you can find opportunity where there's a lot of search volume and maybe not a bunch of really good competitors, well, you might be able to make a product that's really interesting, right? And that's kind of what we teach here, is starting off with that keyword data, right? And so I just happened to type in ramen bowls into our thing. This is a product that I talk about sometimes. One day I'm sure there'll be a lot more ramen bowls, but like right now, the ramen bowl keyword, I mean, there's a lot of, like ramen bowls is $11,000 a month, ramen bowl singular $44,000 a month. This is a nice niche on Amazon that potentially could do really well. And if we look on Amazon, like a lot of the products, like the top ranking products, they don't have a ton of reviews. And so this is a potential where you could bring something to market that's interesting and start filling out this niche and making some money, right? And so the question is, well, how do we apply the Lean Startup or the Ready, Fire, Aim type strategy to launching this product on Amazon? You want to find your product, and then you want to go ahead and create the listing and so pick the niche that you want, and then create the listing and design the listing to be that optimal product that you think the customer wants. And don't even worry about what product you have in your manufacturer right now. Just try to visualize like what your ideal product is for the customer. And then go to your factory, wherever that is, whether it's China, US, or wherever, and try to get something made as close to that listing as you possibly can. for the least amount of money. And even if it's not perfect, and this is where I'm, this might come back to bite me, I don't know, I'm gonna try this myself. But the idea is like, even if it's not perfect, we're gonna go ahead and order like at least 50 or maybe 100 units of that product. So it shouldn't be very expensive. And if it's coming from China, we're gonna have to air freight it. But basically we wanna get something on Amazon where the customer can buy this thing. So if I'm making ramen bowls and I got, some idea for ramen bowl or some way to differentiate what everyone else is doing, I basically wanna bring that in and I wanna have, get my 50 or 100 units in to FBA. And I need them to be in FBA because I need an apples to apples test, okay? I don't want it to be, my product is maybe mine's merchant fulfilled and theirs is FBA. I want it in FBA and I want to do an apples to apples test. Now I'm not going to be exactly the same with them on the review count. They're going to have more reviews than me starting off, and that's a challenge that I have to overcome. But I can tell you that we can easily see with data if this product is going to sell. Even before any of the reviews come in, we'll know if we're going to be able to rank and sell for these keywords. And so what you do after that, and we're seeing this with people that we're helping with their Amazon business, we're seeing this that when they have a hit on their hands, even when they don't have a lot of reviews, a lot of times we just give it a little bit of a boost and then the sales really start to come in. And so we can validate product ideas pretty cheaply. Like if your cost is like, let's say it's $10 and you buy 50 units, that's $500. Like that's not that bad. Maybe you pay a couple more $100 for air freight. Okay, like that's not crazy amounts of money. Like you can literally launch a business for less than $1,000 and know if it's going to work a lot better if you do it this way than like spending $5,000 ordering all the inventory and then hoping that you got a good one. I see so many people, they do this research. A lot of times they don't do the right research in the first place, but they pick their product, they order all this inventory, and then they get it on Amazon and they're like, it's not selling. And we do all this stuff to it and maybe we get it to rank, we get it selling a little bit, but then the customer just doesn't want it because it's not differentiated enough. The competition has too many reviews or whatever. So this is a great way to really test the market without having a huge financial investment. One of the things in the Lean Startup that I really like is he basically talks about starting a business is basically about learning before you run out of money. And so what you want to do whenever you launch a new product is you want to learn if this product is going to do well as fast as possible before you run out of money. And so that's the idea. So let me show you guys in Amazon how we would do this. So if you think about this, like you're not going to just rank #1 on Amazon. Maybe you will, but usually you're not going to just rank #1 on Amazon for your given keyword when you first launch your product. But what you can do is you can buy that ranking with sponsored products, right? And so you can come up there and you can see. And in the beginning, don't expect that when you first launch your product, you're going to have this amazing return on ad investment or anything like that. But let me show you a few products that we did this way and what our ads kind of came in. And I can't show you, some of the stuff will have to be blurred out because it's different customers and it's not, it's some of it's proprietary information. But let me just show you in Amazon. So this is a product where we came in at $9 more than the competition. And on some of these keywords, they were selling at like $12.99 and we were selling at $18.99. And on some of these keywords, we were able to get, a 28% ACost, a 31% ACost, like right out of the bat, we were able to get a really low ACost on this product. And so that lets me know, okay, I might be able to rank for these keywords, especially once I get enough reviews and stuff in, I might be able to rank. And here's the funny thing, like this product, it wasn't great. We sourced this product off of, basically off of Taobao and just like brought it in straight from China from a company and then like put it in some fancy packaging and like bam, we know that this works. We know we have to improve the product to make it better because the reviews haven't been so great, but we validated that like this is something that somebody wants to buy because we're able to get pretty decent ACost on some of these. Now some of these keywords we haven't been able to get the best ACost on, but this is a prime example where we just spent a few $100s, then spend a little bit of money on ads, a couple $100 on ads, and we're able to see like, hey, do we have something here? Do we not have something here? So this one's like a a maybe product, because I think it is going to take a good bit of research and development to actually differentiate, especially if we're going to keep selling at this high price point. So this is another product that we did that we spent a fairly good amount of money on. This is one where we ordered too much inventory, actually. We didn't validate it with enough, and we found that like getting sales on Amazon, we were able to get our ACoS at 77%. To me, that's still too high, but we were able to actually get this thing organically selling pretty well, and so it did pretty good. But in this case, like pretty soon on, I'm able to see that this product was selling organically when people saw it, and it does good. There are some products though, and I don't think I have one to show you. Yeah, like here's one right here where we had 152% ACoS. Another one that's 130% ACoS, whereas this one was only 31% ACoS. So you can see like when you launch something, like pretty soon you can just buy traffic straight to that listing and you can see what happens. And by the way, if you're not familiar with Amazon advertising, the lower the ACoS, the better. So I want it to be, because that's the percentage of the amount of the product sales that it costs me to get a sale. So in other words, if I sell something for $10, my ACoS is 31%, then that means it costs me $3.10 to make a sale. So I want that to be lower. Whereas at 152%, if I sell something for $10, it's costing me $15 to make a sale, right? So pretty early on, you can know if you're gonna do well. Now in the beginning, you're gonna spend 100%, 200%, even 300% to make a sale using sponsored products when you don't have a lot of reviews. But sometimes you end up launching a product and from the very beginning, it just has an amazingly good ACoS and you know that it's gonna be a hit. And here's an example of this. This is a product that we were helping a customer launch over the last 30 days. And right here on Amazon, their ACoS from the beginning was 0 reviews. When we started off, we did like a little bit of rebates and a little bit of listing optimization and stuff, but they're at 35% ACoS for one campaign, or almost 36%, and another one at 45%. And they started ranking really well organically. Now, full disclosure, they did offer a really competitive price, but we can see that the market wants this product and they're ready to buy it and they need it. And so it very much makes sense for them to go back and order more and keep bringing in more and more product because it's a very sought after product and they very much want to buy it. And so my point is that we can use Amazon like Tim Ferriss uses landing pages to see if someone wants to buy something, or like the Lean Startup did where they build a page to sell software, but really like the software doesn't even work. It's like manually somebody doing it. You can do the same thing with Amazon. You come in, you use data to find a niche that you want to go after, and then you get the closest thing you can to that product, and you make the listing look really, really good, and you do all that, and then you sell. And guess what? If you start selling well, even if people leave you negative reviews, who cares? Throw away that listing. You've already validated that's a good product idea, and bring in the next one on a new ASIN. No problem, right? It's not a big deal. Just give everybody refunds if they're not happy with it. Like the whole point of this is to learn. So I highly recommend this strategy especially if you're kind of a small entrepreneur and you haven't been able, you don't have a lot of money to invest, you don't want to lose as much money, spend a little bit of money up front to test something to see if it's really going to work before you put all the money in. And don't worry about perfecting the product. Don't worry about having everything exactly perfect. Just get it to market, make the listing look good, make it look professional, and see if it sells. If it sells, you probably have a winner. Now go back to your manufacturer, get them to make it better, get all the improvements made and everything, and you're probably going to have a lot better chance of success. And the faster you can do that, the more likely you're going to get those big hits that really do well for you. This is a little bit of a new strategy for us. We've always done it kind of at like the $5,000 scale, but I'm thinking that you can even do it at the $1,000 scale. I'm going to do more experiments that deal with this, especially if you guys comment, subscribe, tell me that this is kind of some stuff that you want to see. I will do more stuff like this, trying to kind of see how we can basically like lean startup, 4-hour work week, Amazon kind of thing, and do this. If you're doing stuff like this, let me know. I'm really interested in it. If you have like a cool case study that you want me to share, put it in the comments or message us. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope that you guys got some value out of this video.